Alright, a new year and a new season of everything Ephraim watched, so we are starting back on January. Started this year off with Leave the World Behind on Netflix, talked about it briefly on my 2023 ranked video. Film felt like an M. Night film, most particularly Knock on the Cabin, and also gave me a bit of like Jordan Peele's Nope. We'll say for a Netflix film, although you still noticed like corners cut in it within its budget, it did feel like a massive scale film and had really good cinematography, but was not a fan of its sound design and it wasn't the best pacing wise. Did enjoy its ending though. Then I watched Air. Considering making a movie not about Michael Jordan or the formation of Nike, but about how Michael Jordan signed for Nike, just a really bizarre premise, but I can't lie, Ben Affleck delivered in this and made a really incredible film. And as I mentioned in my 2023 video, I love the cinematography to just make sure Michael was not in this film. I also want to commend how they did that conversation on the phone between Viola Davis's character and Matt Damon, and what an ensemble. Then I watched Panic Room because I haven't watched a David Fincher film in a while. Yeah, I watched The Killer, but come on. And this film is simply incredible. His camera work and visuals in this film is just unmatched. Panning around the house, just that one take. I also love how this film takes place in just the apartment and just that night. And props to the makeup artist and just the production team and everything. That after the explosion that Jared Leto gets with his burns, we just see them progressively get worse. And I think it's really good to see how someone with that kind of injury and really has no motive to do what he's doing will just get frustrated the more the night went on and just wanted to leave before he met his demise. Spoiler for a film that came out like 20 years ago. And that same guy, why are you punching little girls, man? Come on. Then I watched Ferrari, and to keep this short, I'll redirect you to my 2023 ranked video. I'm sorry I keep referring that. I just want to limit the runtime for this video. But the stuff I did mention was I really love the way we see involvement of the press in this film, especially for like a timepiece of, you know, the 70s or whenever this film took place, and made me question how reliable news was back then. Film's pacing was also excellent, and the scene we see Penelope Cruz and Adam arguing is simply cinema. Then I watched Crisis on Infinite Earth Part 1 out of 3, planning to do like a ranked video of all the Tomorrowverse DC stuff, maybe at the end of it, and I'll maybe let me do like an ultimate review for like the entire trilogy at its end. But Part 1 was just alright, far from peak DC animation, but it's an improvement of what we got last year. Matt Bomer voicing The Flash, I'm a fan. I didn't really notice it in the Justice Society film, but I noticed it here. I never really complain about voice acting like ever, but Wonder Woman's voice actress in this film was just not it. And as I mentioned, the film was just alright, so he had a bunch of problems, but I will just say like the film felt rushed, and I felt like the Flash emotional scenes just didn't stick with me. But I'm eager to see where they take Part 2 and Part 3 next. And then I watched Nanny, and she is a really good director, and everyone involved in this movie is absolutely pulling in their weight, but I do not think she is the greatest scriptwriter. Story just felt like it was doing too much. I'm a fan of like African folklore being told in a Hollywood film basically, but I feel like she wanted this movie to be one thing but was another thing, and all that just didn't blend all together. And after halfway, the film just feels like it's a couple things mashed up and being congested with really good ideas. Then I watched Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrel, as well as some Matthew Vaughn films. All covered them in this video, but for the sake of touching them in the everything I watched, I will say a sentence for each. Lock, Stock, for a debut film from a British director, it's as British as it gets, and yeah, the film's pretty good too. Layer Cake, I feel it shot itself at the end with too many twists. Stardust, I just love this film exists. Kick-Ass, this is proof that playing the long game works. I mean, if you look like Aaron Taylor-Johnson. X-Men First Class amazes me how strong Magneto was as a kid. Like, how is he able to hold down that many soldiers? Oh, the film's pretty good too. Kingsman: The Secret Service, you'd think a multi-billion-dollar spy organization can just, you know, fire a regular missile at the satellite like normally. Golden Circle, just realized that only the agents died in this, so technically they could have done a Kingsman 3 instead. And finally, The Kingsman, why didn't they just make a Kingsman 3 Eggsy? But if you want like a deeper run through of those films, just watch that video. And then I watched Uncut Gems, and I just really wanted to see a good Adam Sandler performance, and this delivered. But I don't know what the Safdie brothers did. Like, I want to know how they made this, and I really need to rewatch this as soon as possible. But how did they make every moment of this film so claustrophobic and tense? Like, it felt like every scene something bad would happen. It was moving like at 1,000,000 miles per hour, but at the same time it was just brilliantly paced. Movie just felt so real too that it did not feel real. And The Weeknd, man, is he always this weird? Like, his music is making sense to me now, but like everything I'm seeing this guy in, he acts like a complete weirdo. I also watched How to Have Sex, and this film was just so upsetting. Don't remember too much, so I'm just gonna quote my letterbox. So Follow me on my letterbox.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
But for How to Have Sex, I have not watched a coming of age in a while, and now I'm at the point in my life where I have basically come out of age, so I can finally somewhat relate to the stuff that happens here. And film does excellently well to portray someone that's just having the worst time possible in a period that she's supposed to be at the peak of her life. And this is also credit to Mia McKenna's performance. She's just simply amazing in this. Really brilliant film, and was tempted to watch it in the cinema last year, but with the name like How to Have Sex and I'll be going there by myself, no chance. But it's a good film though, and I recommend you guys watch it. And then I watched Babel because this film has just been sitting on my prime watch list for like the past year. So
sometimes you gotta say, what the fuck? Make your move.
And this was a pretty good film. Still yet to fully see the hype behind Alejandro Gonzalez, but he hasn't fully disappointed me yet. But most of this film, especially at the start, was just so funny to me. My favorite story point was definitely the bits with the kids. Like, they were just so funny. It felt like a skit. But I like how the film somewhat keeps you guessing who gets shot, and the entire timeline of the film still has me confused, especially with that ending. And I will completely criticize, did we actually need those scenes in Japan? They were so uncomfortable to watch too. Then I watched Far Beyond, and of all the strange films I've watched this month, and also in my life, I give this film a standing ovation, because what on earth was going on for this film most of the time? We'll commend that its practical effects were simply amazing in my opinion, but damn, I watched this film on Prime, and in the trivia thing, they said they had to tone down the gruesomeness, especially at the end. What the hell did I watch? You guys should watch this film. Like, it's the best family film you can watch. You guys should watch it with the entire family. Really good film. Like, seriously, it's a really good film. Then I watched A Good Person, and I'm happy I finally watched this. But at the same time, I didn't really like it. Film started strongly. I love Florence Pugh, and Morgan Freeman is always great, but the film just progressively got worse as it went on. And it's a story about drug abuse and trying to get off addiction and all of that. It just felt really generic, and that's because it is. And honestly, if it was just a generic film, that would have been fine. But it had the audacity to do what it did at the end. Talk about cheap attempts to make me feel sad. Like, whoever the director is, I hope you have a wonderful day. And finally for this month, I watched Raging Bull, and actually, what a movie. Marty just delivers every time I watch his films, and it's incredible because it usually just takes me one watch of his films and I see the vision, I see the hype, I see he's literally one of the greatest to ever do it and has done it. Bold statement there. But now onto the film. De Niro's performance is simply captivating. I don't know much about Jake LaMotta, but his portrayal of him was fantastic. Even if it was a fictional character, I would say it just felt real, and every time he was on screen doing something, I was invested, and that was like for 99% of the film, so you know you're in for a blast. The boxing scenes too were actually pretty good, and for someone that has watched all the Rocky Creed films as well as $1 Million Baby and some other boxing films, it's crazy to say that a 1980 film was a breath of fresh air for the genre for me. In particular, that final fight scene with Ray. It was just something that made me grasp my hoodie while watching it. It was that tense. This has to be up there as one of the best films I have watched ever. I really say that a lot, but I truly mean it here. This film was simply phenomenal. And finally, I'll wrap this up with TV shows. Did not watch much, just watched one show. Recommending me to go watch The Blue Eye Samurai, and it blew me away. If I have never made it clear, I'm the #1 Netflix hater. I hate everything about that platform. Think they focus heavily too much on quantity over quality for content, but that's a discussion for another day. Back to Blue Eye Samurai. The animation for this show is simply gorgeous to start with. The character arcs were really good, took some turns I did not expect from the start, and it was just a really entertaining show that I finished in basically one day. And that's something I find very hard to do for a lot of TV shows nowadays. So that's saying something, and you should go watch it. It's just 8 episodes. So yeah, that just wraps it up with everything I watched in January. Thank you for tuning in yet again. Truly appreciate it. See you in the next video, which should be Argyle. Thank you for watching yet again, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
I'm too drippy, baby. I'm too clean. You could look, but please don't touch.
Oh, yes. Oh, God, yes. Oh, fuck. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.